Okay, welcome back. In this part, we will learn loops. Very interesting part of programming. Yep. What's loops? Yeah, okay. It seems a repetition, iteration of the same thing. So if I ask you guys to send greetings to friends, maybe you're just a different person who has many friends, 100 friends and 100 friends, and I may ask you to send them greeting. Maybe you want to send them a greetings to 100 friends. So the same message, it will be hard, right? It takes you some time. But in Python, it takes you almost no time. How? Okay, let's do a print. If it was doing, for instance, manually, you may say, Happy New Year, maybe Happy New Year message, yeah? New Year coming maybe 2022. Anyway, Happy New Year is good enough. So how many times? Now I did it at least once. Okay, to send it maybe I have to do something like this. Maybe if I have to add people's name together, it would be hard, right? Happy New Year, Asabena, Happy New Year, Donald, Happy New Year, Steve, something like that. It would be even harder. Yeah. Okay, so in programming, we have these loops. In programming, we have two kinds of loops. We have two kinds of loops. While and for loop. First, let's see for loop. So to write a for loop, you need for, and then did I tell you that what do we have in range if I say maybe 3? What do I have here? Guys, tell me the values you have here.
0 to 3.
Yeah, 0 and what are the values?
1 to 3. Oh no, 0, 1, 2.
0, 1, 2. Great. So in Python, actually, we can say for I in range. Then if you print I, actually you get all. So what for I in range means I in this list get all the values out. So we 0, 1, 2. Have you seen them out? That's crazy. Then if you go up to 10 or 11, we can get from 0 to 10. Oh yeah. Now you learn how to write for loop. But how about if it was something like, what's that? Again, I have to get this, the list. How about if we have some lists, and in this case also so easy, we can say for country in countries, print one of the country. This also gives you, oh yeah, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark. Guys, we start the game. It looks good, right? And we can change to upper instead of, oh yeah. Yeah, even we can just print many things at the same time. Oh yeah, as you can see, maybe we can even slice after, and we can get the country code, right? The country code. If you slice up to the third. What did I make a mistake? I think I don't need this additional. Yes. Oh yeah, Finn, Sweden, Norway. And even you can actually print this out as in list. If you just put it, oh yeah. Then in addition, we can create even a new list of lists, and then just create an empty list. And then instead of printing everything out, how about if we just append that to, is it getting advanced too fast? And then just append the one I have this. Of course, now you don't say anything. But if you print the list of lists I created there, it's just something like this. Okay, Finland, lowercase, uppercase, and the country code, we just created a list of lists using that. So this allow us to do quite a lot of things anyway, but let's just forget this. Now, just this make things complicated for you, but at least you can see that just, is it okay so far, this line? Yeah, this is okay, right? So what it does, go to the countries and print each of the country. So this means each of the country. We did the same here. If it was just numbers, it's the same as like, I can say, for instance, I can change this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one of the item or num, one of the num. Then now num is going to be one of the number every time. Have you seen? Now, do you get it? So now, for instance, if I want to print from 0 to 100 for I in a range, if I just do this and print I, just allows me to print, as you can see, from 0 to 100. Of course, I can start from 1 if I want. And if you want the increment by 10, of course, it will be, the numbers will be different. Maybe I can start from 0 and it will be like 0, 10, yeah? 0, 10, 20, because the increment is 10. Now, this is for loop, so easy. Now let's come to the countries again and let's do for country in countries. Maybe this, by the way, you can call it even C or whatever. For C in countries, that means C represent print C. But I usually prefer to write the full, you know. Now, let's filter out which countries do have land. Guys, tell me. Some of the countries are without land, so surprise. Here's Sweden, Norway, Denmark. They do not have land. Have you noticed that, guys?
So Iceland, yeah. And
okay.
Finland.
So now let's figure out with Python. If land in country in C, sorry, print C. So first we are iterating through each country and we are checking every now and then. So we just only print if the country has land. Let's see. Did we solve it already, guys? Yes, we did. So, but instead of splashing them out, how about if we store them? Countries with land. Okay, and then empty. Then I can just say countries with land dot append C. Then I can check what I have here. Countries with land. Oh yeah, that's so beautiful, right? We filtered out. So let's do the reverse. Without. Have you ever seen any country without land? Countries without land. And let's just make this empty. And then for C or country, in countries, then if land not in country, then we can say countries without land, without pain, and then the country. Countries without land. Have you seen countries without land? All my countries do not have way. There is only one country that has its own way, and that's Norway, right? Let's figure out, how do I figure out, or how do we get that? A country with way. You tell me now. It's the same thing, actually. You can copy this code. So for C in countries, if way in C country, and then C. Now, if you check print country with way, how many way? Yeah, Norway. How is it so far, guys?
Interesting but confusing meanwhile.
Okay, so let's start again with numbers, nums. Let's make it clear. Nums, by the way, I'm doing the same thing all over again just to make
No,
sure.
I mean, actually, it's clear, but I need to practice.
Yes, yes, but let's just do it once and it will be the end, okay? Nums, okay? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I want you to loop through, you tell me. Help me to write the code, guys. Let's collaborate. 4, yeah.
Numbers.
Num,
Yeah,
in
numbers.
nums, colon, print, num. So easy, right?
Yes.
So is num like, could it be A? Yes, why not? You can call it A if you want. But usually it could be somehow meaningful if you call, because one of the num. So from the nums, one of it's, or you can call it item, one of the item in the list. Is that okay still? Yes, it is okay. But usually if it's countries, we call it country, and so it will be so easy to read. If it's nums, we call it num, and you can call it n also, it's still good enough. Can we add all these guys, these numbers? I can say total, the total is 0, right? And let's start with 0, and then let's add these numbers together. How do we do that? Actually, this is how you do total is equal to total plus the num. Now and then, now n, that means. Now, if I just print total, I should get actually 1 plus 2, 3, 6, 10, 15, a kind of 15. Yep, we did it. But this can be shortened. This kind of code can be shortened. I can copy, and you can also write this differently, like this. Another way of shortening the same thing, but you can write this, or this is okay. But now how about if I want you to filter only the even numbers? How many even numbers do we have here?
2.
Again,
Like if 0 is also
0, 2, and 4 are even numbers. So we can say first for num in nums, if n divided by 2, if the quotient is 0, That means divisible, right? Yeah. If you divide something and if you divide something by 2, I mean a number by 2, and if there's no remainder, then it's divisible, right? Now let's check n. And now you may find 0 to 4 are even numbers. And you can just evens. Let's just create an empty, and then instead of printing, let's collect them, let's store them. And evens dot append. Then you can just n. Then where do we get? We have to print the value here. Evens. I'm expecting list of even numbers. 0 to 4. That's beautiful, right? Yeah. Okay. Now let's print maybe differently. If you remember, like now for I in range, if I say like this, and I means integer, but you can give it J, I, K, whatever, or A, B, but it's common to say or use I, okay? It refers to integer. Of course, everything we stored here is integer, right? Yes, as you can see, I found just this. How about if I multiply these numbers together? If you want, yeah, of course you get the result. Oh yeah, but instead, this I love string interpolation. Do you remember F? And then we can just use this. And then what I can do, I can actually I times I is equal to this. This is so beautiful, right? So what I'm doing is actually every time I multiply, but this one is just putting the number here. We are really multiplying it. Have you seen it? This is beautiful, right? 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 4, something like that. Okay, how about if you want more even? Yeah, you can do whatever you want. But maybe I can do something differently. For instance, I can say, if you remember, do you know this? I think this, the power of 2, give us this, and let's do more. The power of 3 give us, and we have to do this then again, guys, exponential this, and this also better. Let's see the result. Yep. Or 1 to the power of 2, 1 to the power of 2, 4, 3 to the power of 2, 9, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, you can print whatever you want. You can just print also, print just this times this. If you learn that, it's good enough. And now we can still add condition. If I is divisible by, maybe it's not divisible by 2, print I. Do you know what I'm filtering now? Only the odd numbers. As you can see, 1, 3, 7, 9. And if I go up to 100, I'm still filtering the odd numbers because of this condition. Okay. I think it's good enough for loop. How about, how do we use, maybe I can check if there are interesting examples I can help. Interesting examples. Let's check. Yeah, there's no interesting examples. But maybe something I want to show you. Let's go through this again. Do you see some strange number? Do you see some strange number in this list of numbers? Like something different? Don't you see? At least I see one of the number is different, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's -7, yeah.
Yeah, -7 is just different. So sometimes we can say for I in nums. So I'm just iterating. If I is less than 0, continue. What does that mean? We are not interested in this value, but we just print only the positive numbers. Let's see the value. It will print 0, 1, 2, 3. Have you seen it skip 7? So we can use this continue if the number is less. Yeah, or maybe we can also actually do, sometimes we don't have to look through the whole list. Maybe we can break even. Break. If we find something less than 0, then there is something wrong, then we can break. Let's see. 0, 1, 2, 3. When it reached here, it was less than 0 and it broke. So, yeah. Have you noticed the difference between break and continue, guys?
Yes, good.
Yes, continue is to skip one of the item. Continue is to interrupt the loop, the iteration, to break out. That means I don't go further. Yeah, and it saves, actually, it increases performance. So what's the need to go all the lists if you find what you want? Yeah, there are cases, there are some problems. You get your desired output, and after that, you don't want to continue, right? Yes.
Yes, I have a question, but it shouldn't be. This doesn't work with strings, does it?
Which one?
This skipping and breaking.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It does.
Instance, yeah. Wait. For instance, let's do with this. Yeah. Okay. But of course, your condition should be for country C in countries. Yeah. For instance, if way in C.
Oh, yes, yes.
Continue. Now I'm deliberately missing out
Norway. Yes.
Norway. Sorry, Norway, because it has a way. And so, sorry. No one, no Norwegian here. Okay, it's okay. So have you seen how we remove Norway?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's up to you to come up with the logic. Yeah. You learn the feature, the possibility, then it's up to you. Now, okay, for instance, let's, if you do this land, for instance, we will omit Finland and Iceland. Yeah.
Good.
But this is more, it seems, but most of the time we do this when there's just one or two item, one just to continue. This seems like filtering, but for filtering, we use differently. Okay, let's see if there's something I have to cover before I move to other topics. No, there's nothing. But sometimes, guys, it's not like this. You may have, for instance, if you remember, let me show you this. I can create a because I don't have data now, but so I can create data fast. Let me create data. You don't have to look at me that. What I do, print for C in countries, and I want to just generate something. Maybe C, just C to upper and C to upper, and I want to just slice the first three, and again I may say the limits of C. I think this is good enough for me now already for C in countries, and yeah, so this is what I want to print out, and I will make use of that data. Yeah, so I want to, yes, I generate data. Now you don't have to look at this. I will teach you this later. So imagine we have this data. I just call it data. What? I thought I just copied this. Let's see if it's copied. No. Yeah, it's copied. Have you seen this list of lists, right? We have another list inside, yeah? Another list.
Yeah.
So let's, what we do for just item, you can call it whatever, in data, and then let's print and see what's happening, that item. So what's happening here? No such a file. What do you mean by that? We have a file. Yeah. Have you seen it's printed out, but still it's a list. So you have to again loop through these items. Okay, then we can say from there for one of the item, maybe just we call this one the maybe I call it list because it was a list for list in data, and now the item in the list, and now print the item. So as you can see, now we managed to print each part. Yeah. Sometimes, hey guys, I am interested only in the numbers, this, and I want you to store all the numbers. How do you do? Those numbers, nums, okay. So as you can see here, it's a bit hard to find the numbers. I mean, to know at what index this one is, because 0, 1, 2, 3. So the easy way to do, I think we don't have to go, we don't have to come here. We can just actually say list, and what is the 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3. Let's print this out. Because you may get different data like this. Have you seen now? I got, okay, now instead of nums, that's append. Well, what's the purpose of doing this? For instance, this could be price of something, guys, even though now it's just a random number. Or it could be population of a country. Maybe if I ask you, what's the average population of the Scandinavian countries? So in that case, you have to first add all the numbers together and divide the number of the countries, right? So now let's see, print nums. And I think, yes, great. Yeah, great. Now I think it's better to talk about for while loops. While loops. What's the difference between it's there's no much difference. So we can say, for instance, I is equal to 0. You have to have something to start with. And there's this while I is less than 4, you can say print I, but at the same time, we have to increment I now and then. If not, we may end up infinite loop. So let's see, 0, 1, 2, 3, yes. Yes, I heard someone asking. No, so as you can see, we have initial, our initial is 0, and we have a condition. Our condition is this value should be less than 0, but if it's not 0, we can continue, I mean less than 4, sorry guys. If it is less than 4, we can continue until it gets 3, because it doesn't get 4. Yeah, that's why. How about if I change this to 10, what will be the maximum value of I?
9.
9.
9, great. So this is how you do it. Now you got it. And now I think something I didn't teach you also here, actually I have to come back. How do we print the other way, reverse, for instance, reverse order here. Now, even in range for I, in range, you have 5, right? Now, if I do print I, you know what we get, right? Everybody should be now. What am I going from this? Tell me.
0 to 4.
0 to 4, yes. Great. Now, what I'm asking you, actually, how do we reverse this? For 4 to?
Colon -1.
So we should see, we should start from 4, and our end should be -1, and the increment should be -1. I think this allows us to do the reverse of this. Again, yeah, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your starting point 4, yeah. The end 0, because -1 doesn't include minus, so 0, and the increment is, does it make sense, guys? We have seen this a couple of times, yeah, this part. Now I want you to print, if you want to print from 10 to 0, you should put for I in range. So you should start from 10, and you should go to -1 and -1. And print I, and this should give me from 10 to 0. 10 to 0. Yeah, it's working. How about with 0? Now, as you can see, yeah, I mean, this let's make this up to 6, and we will have a chance to see just 0 to 5. My point is now let's reverse this. I have to start from 5, and this should be different. While I is greater than or equal to 0, then we have to do the subtraction. Let's see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Great. This is the same. So now you can do whatever you want. If you increase this to up to 100, so you can just manage to print whatever you want once if you get. This allows us, and sometimes, what do you think if I change this just true? What would be the result? This is an infinite loop, and it doesn't stop because the condition is true all the time, okay? this condition will never be false. That means it will run forever. So avoid writing such condition, a condition that will be true all the time. That means the loop will never stop. Yep. Yeah. So I will conclude my lesson here today, and let's show you what you should do for exercise. What did we cover today? We covered conditionals, list. First, we learned list, and as I told you at the very beginning, when we just covered the topic part, the list topic, you have exercises over here. And then you go to again to conditionals. There are quite lots of conditional exercises. Yeah, not really, it's good enough. We saw some of we have seen this part already, and you may try them out. Okay, and then we covered also loops. Loops is very important. Maybe if there's some interesting question, I may, for instance, we have done this, right? Is it hard for you now? No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's not. No, I iterate through the list. For instance, let me just think. Yeah, you are given this using for loop and print out the items. So what you should do, you have the list, you can save it, or you don't have to. I mean, you can store it with a variable, or you don't have to. What you should do, for item in, just then print the item. Have you seen? Yes, Python, NumPy, Pandas, Django, Flask. We manage. So it's so easy. Use for loop to iterate from 0 to. Is it difficult? No, it's not anymore. Use a for loop to iterate from and print only odd numbers, even numbers, sum of all numbers. Yeah, I can do sum of all numbers for you. And the sum is this. Okay, let's check. So what it says, let's start from total. Usually start from 0 total. 0, because you don't have number at the very beginning. So for I in range, let's go up to 0, 0, 1. That means up to 101. Then total is equal to total plus I every now and then. And if you print now total, actually, we should get, yep. Then if you want to print something like this, what we should do, yeah, F string, we have to remove this, and we can just inject the total here. And let's again, the sum of all numbers is this. The sum of all numbers from the beginning to the end, you can also, yeah, this is so simple. So you can go through the exercise and then you will be really good at. So what is going to be covered next week? Oh yeah. So first we will learn this: sets, tuples, and dictionaries. And then again, functions. These two for next week. Okay, great.